All right, there we go. And then, boss, thank you very much for the channel points towards the day off. Cheers. Yeah, thanks, Animal. I got it. I got it. All right, so this is the world from yesterday, or the install from yesterday. So if you would like the dock, it is right there, because I need to open it. But what I'm going to be going into is I'm going to go find the faction that we were playing yesterday. And we're going to go figure out what the hell happened to it. Is it worth playing and is it easy to get into? Define easy. What's the hardest game you've ever played? Ultra Kid, bro. Or the hardest game to learn you've ever played. All right, Tool of Twisting is the faction we're looking for. We're going to be playing Legends today, or right now. And then after the words, we'll be playing some Dwarf Fortress mode. You're off. We'll see you later. Oh, well, cheers. You have a good time at the race. What? Or rather, I'm doing Legends until... Other Stone. Yes. Other Stone. Not that stone. Stoned. This is bad. Someone needs to give. Someone needs to give. Anyway. So we're going to do a little bit of Legends digging. A little bit of Legends, friends. So, to those of you who don't know anything about Legends, Dwarf Fortress has 3 modes of play. There's Fortress mode, which is the most popular, where you build a fortress of dwarves. There is Adventure mode, where you explore the world in an open world format. And then there's Legends, which is what we're looking at right now. Legends mode is where you take the world that you've generated and you can read everything about it. You can read the name of every single person that's ever lived in the world. You can read about all of the history of the world, all of the factions, all of the artifacts, all of the books, all of the scrolls, all the events, everything right down to individual crafts that were made by dwarves in previous forts that you've had in that world. This is the Dayfort's world, so it's a world that we are kind of building and learning about as a group, or rather, I'm doing a lot of historical digging on this world, and if other people want to as well, you're more than welcome to. I'm currently curious about the faction that we were playing yesterday, which is the Tool of Twisting, which on the world map in current year is up in this corner of the map, up here. You've played Caves of Cut quite a bit? You could probably learn DF. I would say you died a boogeyman in adventure mode? I'd freeze to death in rivers. Thank you very much. Or fall out of a tree and break my legs and starve to death. Anyway, so our little faction is up here. They have this one location. So they're not exactly doing so hot. But what I want to know is what the heck happened to these guys? It's probably not much, but it's probably worth looking into. All right, so we need to find the Tool of Twisting. And of course, they're going to have quite a bit of history. But what I do know is that they all died. So why did they all die? Why is there like 75 of them left? What the hell happened? So maybe we can dig into this a little bit and figure out exactly what caused them to have such problems. And then after that, we'll go play some normal Fortress mode stuff. I don't believe I've ever died to a boogeyman, which is why I say that. I mean, I've certainly died to like goblins and other highwaymen, but I've never died to a boogeyman specifically. The Tool of Twisting was a dwarven civilization of the Pretentious Domain, and the faction that we played yesterday. So they, in year 1, pretty standard stuff. Cole, labored thins, became the king. I've never really encountered one in adventure mode, so I couldn't really tell you. I guess we could start off by looking at coal labored thins. So let's jump up to historical figures. Coal labor thins was one of the first of his kind, became the king of the tool of twisting. Melville Martyr Bridges and Cole became lovers. In the year 1, the tool of twisting held a wrestling competition. He broke up with his lover. So did he? Okay, so immediately became king. Got married in 32. Didn't really do much. They fought with fought in the clashes of Scorching in the Forest of Plays, which is an elven thing. Got married in 32. Fought in the attack of beasts. Lots of wars. Very much a warrior king. But yeah, no, if you want to learn DF, just hang out and ask questions. But yeah, it just looks like a whole lot of battles. Salon Hellcrest as the Monster Slayer Kavish formed a false friendship with Cole. So something happens to this. Okay, so one of two things happens with this faction. Thing number one, bunch of trolls. In Cruelbeard. Once again, can I just say that Cruelbeard is like the best name ever for a dark dwarven pit? Cruelbeard. Hayes, I shall notice ye. How is ye? Was struck down by the golems Samuel's Flaxhor in Channel Relic. So essentially, Cole Labored Thins was a warrior king. Quite literally. Like, from the year 33 to the year 72, more or less did nothing but fight in battles. And occasionally form friendships with people. It's a whole lot of that. Got married in 39. Wait, did you break up with your other wife? Or did your other... Got married to Salon. Maybe Salon died? That or you had multiple wives. Object of worship. Eldest son. Object of worship. Daughter. Object of worship. The Oblivion of Bones. I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. Had a deceased spouse and a wife. Okay, so spouse died. So Salon Point Plagues died a few years after they got married. And then he got married again, and his wife died like 10 years after he did. Good to know. Hayes, good to know. So that's the first king of the Tool of Twisting. Nothing particularly noteworthy. So he died in 80. Or 72 was the year that he died. Look at all of these ceremonies. They really like their... A giant cougar, River Haze, became an enemy of the Tool of Twisting in the year 69. That sounds like something Stone would look up. Yeah, supposedly boogeymen are only available in spooky biomes in adventure mode, which I tend to avoid when I do mess around in adventure mode. Cogmind, last time I played it was a long time ago, admittedly. It gave me eye strain. I need to mess with it again now that they added in more font options. But I haven't played Cogmind in a long time. I do know Cogmind is very good, though. There we go. The dwarf Inga's City Dash became the king of the Tool of Twisting in 73. And this is near the end of their history. So I'm going to kind of scroll down here. There's going to be a jump here at some point. I'm looking at the years of events. 76, 76, 76, 76, 77. Something happened here. Because look at how many people suddenly became royalty in the year 85 and 79. The Rainy Whips defeated the Wire of Allying in the Tool of Twisting and took over Galleycrafts. So they lost one fort. And then the Rainy Whips defeated them again and took over Bell Age. So they lost their mountain home and one of their other big forts. So then they got a new king, Cogsack, in 85. And this kind of is where their history ends. Like, they fell down after this point. They seem to just kind of get smaller and smaller. A Cyclops attacked them. Probably nothing too noteworthy outside of that. Swamp Titan, Gutter Ripe, the Tuft, became an enemy of the Tool of Twisting. They got attacked by a Swamp Titan and it routed one of their forts. It destroyed Cruelbeard. Not Cruelbeard, which then later would get populated by goblins. Or evil dwarves and goblins. The Hideous Witch attacked the Coal of Guilds of the Tool of Twisting in Mannerheim, which was another fort that was destroyed. That's kind of horrifying. Like, they were like massively at war here, and then they just lost the war. They lost two of their biggest fortresses, and then after that, it was just like they lost their king. They lost all of their royalty because look, everybody, like all of their royalty is replaced in 85. Basically, they got a new baron, a new baroness, like everybody. They got a new king, and then after that, it's just like a slow fall into destruction. Every single one of their forts just slowly gets destroyed. They got a new baroness, and then here again in 351, they get a whole bunch of new. Oh, interesting. Mato Len's Curse. Their queen is actually a dwarf. And then literally nothing happens for 150 years. No, 200 years, actually. So, Pulled Fasted, the Rooster of Craters, was offered to the Dwarf Cogsack as the Tool of Twisting in 138, and then 150 is the next event, and then 308 is the next event after that. Like, they're just pushed into one fort. That's, yeah, kind of sad. I'm going to look up Cruelbeard because I want to know a little bit, mostly because that place has a great name, but Cruel. There we go. The Dark Pits of Cruelbeard. The laborious sins of Welding founded Cruelbeard. So it was a goblin place. Elves attacked them. And a whole bunch of goblins were struck down. I'm just wondering where, because at some point, the dwarves take over it. The Deserts of Music attack the laborious sins at Cruelbeard. Okay, so Depth Shove is a really good name. That's a Minotaur that attacked these guys. But it's mostly just goblins here still. I love when they just straight up put the combat logs into Legends. It's like, there's so much here. Holy shit. Big fights in like the 10 years between like 55 and 65 from the looks of things. And then right there. Oh, interesting. They were routed. So the Swamp Titan Gutter Ripe, the Tufted... we need to look up that Swamp Titan. Gutter Ripe, the Tufted, routed the fabulous fires of an unknown civilization, which was a mercenary group, which took over and destroyed Cruelbeard. And then... So that happened in 65. In 65, they got destroyed by a Titan, and then all these dwarves moved in 89. Gutter Ripe the Tufted. Yeah. And it looks like the Rainy Amethyst attacked the dwarf. Was struck down. Gutter Ripe the Tufted attacked them again in 106. At what point does this become part of the... Oh, wow, that was quite the fight. Holy shit. All of those are deaths. And it was destroyed again. Routed the Peaceful Silvers of the Tool of Twisting. So yeah, those were all the Tool of Twisting dwarves that moved in. Damn. But it still has a population of like 50. It's still alive. Gutter Ripe the Tufted was a swamp titan. It was the only one of its kind. A great hairy sauropod. It has large mandibles, and it moves deliberately. Its amber hair is long and straight. Beware its webs. Gutter Ripe was associated with water, plants, nature, and muck and animals. How many kills did that thing get? 30 notable kills, 10 other kills. It has a lair, which is Chance Scales, the Gall of Seals. Yeah, the last thing it did was killed a bunch of stuff in 140. It's killed a bunch of beak dogs as well as a bunch of dwarves. Bunch of humans, bunch of elves. That's a pretty intense critter, considering it's still alive. It must be close. What's the name of its lair? Chance Scales, the Gall of Seals. Would that be an underground region? I don't know how to search for these. Maybe an underground region? Nope. Maybe a structure? Nope. I don't know. Must be hidden. I mean, it's possible it's a, it's probably a site, right? Because that's where all the secret zones are. But chant confuses Glover, like there's no chant seals. If I just type the word seal in. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Just kind of wondering where it was. The Scar of Flesh. An Etten lives there. The Brave Scars, the Ripe Knight. Anyway, so many like wild things to look at. So yeah, that seems to kind of be what happened to these guys. Like in like the 70s and 80s, this was our little faction right here. This was our little faction of dwarves. And then between that and year 130, they went down to just this one hillox and this little fort here. And that's it. They're literally like hanging out here, occasionally repopulating this little fort right here. That's what you use Legends Viewer to read. You dump the XML file and then you use external software to go deeper into stuff. I could do that, but it sounds like work. But yeah, that's kind of where it sits. I don't have too much else to look up, honestly. Is there anything in particular you guys want me to go look up? Otherwise, we can just go jump into Long Death, because I wanted to know what happened to that Civ, and it seems pretty like. I mean, I guess I could look up their final king. But aside from that, it's pretty clear. Like, they were just in a war and they lost. As far as what started the war, I don't know if I can find out with the information I have. Mato Lens Curse was their last queen, who I thought might be a goblin, but because of the last name, but it's not a goblin, it's a dwarf. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Zombie. Chat investments are open if you wish to invest your tickets. And welcome to the stream side of things. How far into Long Death are you, if I can ask? Cogsack Aqua Steaks. So... died in 228. Man, like this was their last real king. You know, was born in 64 as the youngest son of Dodic Love Wheel and Doran Tool Crowns. Became the king in the year 85. So was born in 64, became king in the year 85. Had an artifact offered to him. Became obsessed with his own mortality and sought to extend his life by any means necessary. The envy of those that live on. And began worshipping Rash, the Oblivion of Bones, and then died of old age in 228. Wasn't very successful. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always adding on to it. I think it gets like at least 12 to 15 hours a week of stuff added. It's definitely watchable. Like, you can totally catch up to it if... Sure, we can totally look up the Oblivion of Bones, if you wish. Necrofatal. There we go. Rash Necroflate Fatal was the Oblivion of Bones. It was a deity that occurs in the myths of the Tool of Twisting, most often depicted as a rotting male dwarf and is associated with death. So it's the god of death. But currently, we are looking through Legends of the Dayfort's world. And then the final queen, who's the one who's still alive to this day for the Tool of Twisting. Although they now have another fortress, so I guess the possibility of this faction living longer is more likely. I kind of want to like try and rebuild this faction though. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of do. Because us making that fort, or us playing in the world, since then they've actually like appointed a new queen. Lens Curse. Mato Lens Curse. Lens Curse. Was the master of beasts of the hideous witch. Was born of unknown parentage. In 273, was the master of beasts of the hideous witch. Assumed the identity of the merged quandary. Okay. Became infatuated with Shortast. We don't see that very often. Became infatuated with Shortast construct rocks. Began embezzling funds as the master of beasts of the hideous witch. And the goblin, Route Spider, plotted to assassinate Shortast and was approached by Mato to handle the matter discreetly through another party. Mato became the Baroness of the Tool of Twisting, and then became the Queen of the Tool of Twisting. Interesting. Settled in Bel Age, which is their mountain home. There's lots of goblins plotting to kill this person. No, it is trying to. Okay, who is Shortast construct sockets? Because she's not married. It's the human necromancer druid. I can check, yeah. But first I want to look up this person. Why does everybody want to kill this person? Construct sockets. Born of unknown parentage. He's the exalted silver of the faith of gems. So a holy person of a religion. Murdered the elf. He murdered an elf in Abbey Parched. Had many lovers. He preached the faith of gems, urging love to be shown in the square coven. Mato became infatuated with Shortast. Shortast then got married. People keep on plotting to murder him through the queen of this dwarven civ. Why, though? It must be because of the religion, right? It's got to be because of the faith of gems. Whatever the faith of gems is. We'd have to look up faith of gems over in the legends. So this dwarf has killed 2 dwarves. Yeah, and it's got to be because... And is also a baron now. As of 351, this dwarf became a baron. So as of the first year of play that we had in this world, this dwarf became the baron of this faction. And the queen of this faction is infatuated with this dwarf. And goblins keep on trying to assassinate this dwarf through the queen. So they keep on trying to convince the queen to assassinate this dwarf. Now you want chips? I can't remember the last time I had Pringles. True story. So you wanted me to look up Bendy, Plunge. Yeah, there you go. Male human necromancer. Yep, still alive. Yeah, became the druid of the contested tusk. So this is a human necromancer who's in charge of an elven, who is basically the king of an elven civilization. Which is real cool. And their name is Bendy. So yes, still alive. Although has killed 5 dogs. Horrible person. What a monster. Fucking warrior, too. I mean, like, if I go to historical figures, right? And I type in... Belag hasn't had a dwarf in this world yet. I don't know. Who was somebody that was in yesterday? I need to open the doc. There we go. Shad. This is a dwarf that was in my fort yesterday. Was born in 288 of unknown parentage. Became a member of the Hopeful Ages. Settled in Krallmire. Became romantically involved with Little Joe. And became a mason in Krallmire. This dwarf has many years of history left. That's just one dwarf that was in my fort. Actually, hold on. I want to find something. But I have to go through Krugs. What was the name of your dead lover? Dreamy Crafts. Dreamy Crafts. This was the dwarf that was the lover of Krug Smash. And was struck down by a goblin. Sunmo's Safety Hells. So Safety Hells is who I need to look up. Safety. What? What was the name of it? Oh, I see. Safety. ETY. Spelling safety wrong. Safety. Hells. There you are. This goblin was born of unknown parentage. Was the Lady of the Lie of Repudity. So this goblin was the were creature that attacked me. At some point, this goblin, after, finding lovers and fighting in battles, there we go. In the year 275, the human Akath mountain grasp the twinkling bit Snamu's in passing on the llama's curse and rhyme scourge. So there was a were-llama outbreak and rhyme scourge in 275. Simon just managed to escape the human without dying, but was forced to endure the terrible curse of becoming a were creature during the full moon. Fled to the terrible hill, became enemies with everybody, devoured a blue peahen, devoured a boar, became the enemy of a bunch more people, attacked Agos seal monsters the weak. That's a unfortunate name. Devoured some beak dogs. Became enemies of more people. Devoured a troll and a beak dog. Devoured a giant flying squirrel. Good job catching it. Became the enemy of the demon of lungs, aka cigarettes. And then eventually would go on to in 359 would bite the dwarf Jimidine, Dreamy Crafts, passing on the llama monster's curse, and then striking down Jimidine in Kralmire, and then went on to settle in Lorehearts. Her husband's still alive. That's a long list of enemies. 3 notable kills and 22 others. Yep. Three notables and 22 others. Yeah, they are, them were creatures. They are a vile bunch. That was the were creature that attacked us last night. And that's that creature's full history. I mean, it's totally understandable to be amazed by this shit because this is what Dwarf Fortress is doing in the background that makes it not run so hot sometimes because it's tracking all of this shit, right? And there's so much. There's so much. But that's just a little dip into Legends. I think that's enough Legends for now.